We had a piano, and my sister played beautifully, and whenever we had aunts and cousins come, and we often had them come on Saturdays, we'd have tea, and then it would be all cleared away and there would be songs round the piano. Now, some of my cousins had lovely voices, and we had duets and quartets. I can remember my brothers and their friends singing Excelsior, Excelsior. Oh, it was wonderful, really. Everybody loved it. And we sang all the latest songs. And in those days you could go down the market and you could buy song sheets, a penny each. And we often bought the song sheets so that when anybody came, we could hand them round and they could all join in the singing round the piano. Well, we'd sing for a time and then they would say, now, who's going to say a recitation? Now, my father was very good at monologues, and he could say monologues that would take 3/4 of an hour to say. He was really good. He got a very good memory. And I can remember my brother Ted, he always used to say the wreck of the Hesperus. And my mother had taught me a poem when I was 4 years old, and it was called Truthful Nelly. I'll say it now. Nelly and Dotty both heard Mamma say, pray, from the drawing-room keep away. Don't take your toys there, fear someone should call, but go out in the garden with your rope, bat and ball. The garden was lovely that fine summer's day, but Nelly and Dotty, they soon came away. Into the drawing-room Nelly came skipping, with her new rope all the furniture flipping. Down goes a tall vase, all golden and gay, smashed all to pieces. What will Mamma say? Cries Dot with hands raised. Oh, Nell, let's run. They'll think it was Pussy who did it in fun. But Nell answered through big tears, but Dot, don't you see? Though nobody saw us, God knows it was me. So I'll go up and tell her it caught in my rope. Perhaps she won't scold much, at least, so I hope. That's right, cried their mother, who stood at the door. I'd rather the 10 vases got smashed on the floor than my children should break the bright words of truth, the dearest possession of age or of youth. That vase can be mended and scarce show a crack, but a falsehood once spoken, 'twill never come back. However much grieved for, by young folks or old, a falsehood once spoken, forever it's told. My mother taught me that when I was 4 years old, and that was my party piece, and wherever we went and we had to say a party piece, that was the piece of poem that I always said. But one of the highlights was the first Christmas party that I went to at the Sunday school. Oh, I can remember my mother had dressed me up in my best dress, and we went off, very excitedly. And first of all, the tea was all laid and we had tea. And then when the tea was and everything, the tables were cleared away, we played games. First of all, the little ones, which included me. And we played ring-a-roses, a pocket full of posies, a tissue, and all fall down. And We played that for 2 or 3 times. Then we had oranges and lemons. Orange and lemons. There was 2 big girls, and they held hands and held their arms up like a bridge. And we had to file underneath, go round and round and underneath. And then it was time for the older children to have games. We had to sit down, the little ones. Well, then it was time for the Magic Lantern show. And the school teacher fastened a tablecloth on the wall, and they placed all the chairs in rows, and we all sat down, and the magic lantern was brought in, and they lowered the lights, and the light came on the screen, and there was a big bear on the wall. It really was magic to me. For a little child who'd only seen little pictures in picture books, to see a great big bear on the wall was absolutely magic. Oh, it was magic. And then they started nursery rhymes, and they'd put a picture on of little Miss Muffet sitting on her tuffet, and we all had to sing the nursery rhyme. And then they'd put Jack and Jill, pictures of the nursery rhymes, you see, and we had to sing at the top of our voices, and the teacher would say, now all this side the room and all that side the room, and all the girls, and then all the boys, and then all the little ones, and we'd all be trying to outdo one another so that we could sing louder than anybody else. It was great fun. Every Good Friday they had a magic lantern show called Manger to Cross. And they'd get all these children in, and they'd get as many as they could squashed into each pew. And there was a big sheet across the church in front of the altar. And the lights would be lowered. And one of them, either the vicar or one of the church wardens, would tell us the story while they showed us all the pictures. And it began right from Mary and Joseph on the way to Nazareth, and Mary riding on the donkey, and then the magic lantern show itself probably took, well, an hour, quite an hour. But the last pictures, of course, were Jesus carrying his cross with a crown of thorns, and you could see the blood trickling down his forehead onto his nose, you see. And always at that point the children all said, "Oh." And I never ever remember seeing that magic lantern without the children saying, "Oh," when it came to just that particular part. And then it went on. You saw Jesus on the cross, and the 2 thieves, one each side of him, and Mary Magdalene and Mary kneeling in front of him and all that. Even when moving pictures came in, they still had that magic lantern show in the church every Good Friday. I can remember going when I was 18 years old, because by then, of course, I'd got a boyfriend, and so had my other friends, and we all sat in the back row of the church for the magic lantern show. It was always the same story and practically the same pictures. The only thing was they get a bit more colourful as the years went on. But otherwise, nobody seemed to mind. They didn't seem to mind that it was the same story and the same pictures year after year. It was so enjoyable, and everybody loved going.